Hello friends, hope all of you are fine. Another Sunday, another very hot Sunday. More sips of Kehwa, and I plan to continue with Charles Dickens for some time. As I told you earlier, I have always loved Dickens and his characters. Last Sunday I talked about Great Expectations and how Pip had fallen in love with the cold and cruel Estella, but in the end, things turn in his favor. Pip returns to England after spending years working in Egypt to find Estella widowed after suffering a lot in an abusive marriage to Drummle. And this has turned her into a soft-hearted and kind lady. When he visits the house after his return from Egypt, he meets Estella in the ruins, who asks for his forgiveness. So I'll read the last pages of the book about the reunion of Estella and Pip. And there's a particular line, the last line, which I still remember as a 10th grader. I had read it, and I still remember that line. I saw no shadow of another parting from her. I still remember that line. So let me read from the last pages. I'll skip a few paragraphs and I'll tell you the gist, how there's a reunion between the two, Philip and Estella. So this is on page 434. A cold silvery mist had veiled the afternoon, and the moon was not yet up to scatter it. But the stars were shining beyond the mist, and the moon was coming, and the evening was not dark. I could trace out every part of the old house, and where the brewery had been, and where the gate, and where the casks. I had done so, and was looking along the desolate garden walk when I beheld a solitary figure in it. Can you guess who this figure is? The figure showed itself aware of me. As I advanced, it had been moving towards me, but it stood still. As I drew nearer, I saw it to be the figure of a woman. As I drew nearer yet, it was about to turn away when it stopped and let me come up with it. Then it faltered, as if much surprised, and uttered my name, and I cried out, Estella! I'm greatly changed. I wonder you know me? The freshness of her beauty was indeed gone, but its indescribable majesty and its indescribable charms remained. Those attractions in it I had seen before. What I had never seen before was the saddened, softened light of the once proud eyes. What I had never felt before was the friendly touch of the once insensible hand. The moon began to rise, and I thought of the placid look at the white ceiling, which had passed away. The moon began to rise, and I thought of the pressure on my hand when I had spoken the last words he had heard on earth. Estella was the next to break the silence that ensued between us. I have very often hoped and intended to come back, but have been prevented by many circumstances. Poor old place. The silvery mist was touched with the first rays of the moonlight, and the same rays touched the tears that dropped from her eyes. Not knowing that I saw them, and setting herself to get the better of them, she said quietly, "Were you wondering, as you walked along, how it came to be left in this condition?" Yes, Estella, he says. And I'll skip these paragraphs in fact, and I'll come to the end so that you can read the entire book. And it's a very, very, very good book. I'm very, very fond of this book, Great Expectations. "But you said to me," returned Estella very earnestly, "God bless you, God forgive you. And if you could say that to me then, you'll not hesitate to say that to me now. Now, when suffering has been stronger than all the other teaching and has taught me to understand what your heart used to be. I have been bent and broken, but I hope into a better shape. Be as considerate and good to me as you were, and tell me we are friends." "We are friends," said I, rising and bending over her, as she rose from the bench. "And we'll continue friends apart," said Estella. I took her hand in mine, and we went out of the ruined place, and as the morning mists had risen long ago when I first left the forge, so the evening mists were rising now, and in all the broad expanse of tranquil light they showed to me, I saw no shadow of another parting from her. I saw no shadow of another parting from her. So this is Charles Dickens for you, and this is Estella and Pip, the end of their story, and perhaps the beginning. So I want you to read this book, and of course next Sunday I'll pick up another book of Charles Dickens, and then I'll move over to Hardy. Thank you so much, and toodaloo. Hope to meet all of you next Sunday, and more of Dickens. Thank you.